Okay, this is the project, and I'm laying it down because my camera is down so far I can't stand it up. But this is what we're making today. And as you can see with this vellum here, that's what allows the light to show through. So it is really a whole lot of fun to make. It's not that difficult. So I just want to show you real quick how to do this, okay? All right, so let me set this off to the side for now. And then I've got to plug in a couple of my tools over here that I need to be able to show you how to create these. And I didn't want to do it ahead of time because they get too hot and I end up burning my hands. Okay, so to get started, here's what you're going to need, okay? You're going to need a wood base. Now, you can go to Michael's and buy these for $1. Okay, that's what they cost. They're very inexpensive, but wow, do they make a great base for a lamp. I mean, it's just perfect. Let me tell you the size real quick. I think it's a 5x5. Yes. Okay, 5x5. So what you're going to do then with this base is you're going to paint it. And what I did is I painted it in this blue from Deco Art. This is a true blue. And I'm thinking now that I did it that I might want to have done it in white instead. So anyways, do it in the colors that you want, but this is just what I used, okay? And then as you can see around the edges here, I used this glitter polka dot paint. And I didn't do the top of it here because you don't see this. So I didn't even bother to mess with it. Of course, if you want to, you can go ahead and finish it out by painting this to the top. So this is from Folk Art. This is called Glitterific, and it's polka dots. And it is very thick. This stuff is really, really thick, but it paints out these really shiny polka dots out. So I thought that was kind of fun to add to the base of this lamp. Okay, so so you're going to start obviously by painting this first, and then you're going to set it off to the side and let it dry. Okay, so next what we're going to do is you need to cut your papers. Okay, now I'm going to give you some sizes here. So now you know that I have done a lot of stuff in step outs already. Okay, just so to speed up time. So for this, what you're going to do is you're going to start with a piece of cardboard first. Okay, and your cardboard is going to be 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and you want to cut 4 of them. Just regular cardboard, you guys. Okay, nothing fancy. Let me show you. This is like what was left over of the piece that I was using. So I just used a regular piece of cardboard, cut it 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, and then you're also going to cut white cardstock and pattern paper 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and you're going to do 4 of each. Okay, so 4 cardboards, 4 white pattern or white paper, white cardstock, and then 4 of your pattern paper. Now you can see with this one that I used a different pattern paper, and that's just because I did not have any other of the other paper that I used for my finished project. So that's why it looks different. Okay, so you're going to start off by cutting all of that paper first. Okay, and then once you get all of your papers cut, then what you're going to do is you're going to sandwich the 3 papers, the 2 papers and the cardboard together. So you're going to take the cardboard and you're going to cover the front of it with your pattern paper, and then you're going to cover the back of it with your white cardstock. Okay, so this is going to be solid, but it's going to be printed paper one side and your white cardstock on the other. And that's because this is going to be on the inside. So you want to kind of finish this off just a little bit to make it look a little prettier. Okay. All right. So once you've done that, then what you're going to do is you're going to cut out. Now, I did this to make it simpler. Okay. But you're going to cut out this center here. So what I did was I just cut out a square with my paper trimmer, 3.5 by 3.5 inches. And then I laid it down on the front there, and then I cut each one out. Okay, so you're going to create 4 of these. That's first. You're going to create 4. So once you have that done, all right, you've got everything covered, you've got your center covered or cut out, then you're ready to start decorating and start putting things together. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stamp up and emboss the vellum paper. Okay, again, the vellum sheets are 4.25 by 4.25. Okay, so this is just a regular piece of vellum that you can see through. And you want to make it that size because this is going to be your window that's going to fit inside your frames. So you want to cut 4 of these. Everything is in 4s for this project. Just remember that, okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this with this beautiful stamp that Ann has. Let me get my mouse up here out of the way. So we got a little bit more room here. Okay, and let me make sure that this is, yep, this is in the right spot. Okay, so we're going to lay that vellum piece down, and then I'm going to take the Versamark pad or embossing pad, that's all that they are. They're just embossing pads. And I'm not using all of this stamp because, as Ann said, this is an A2 size, and I don't need it that big. So you'll notice that I'm not stamping up here, and that's just because I don't need that part up there. I just need 4.25. Okay, so we're going to stamp that up with the Versamark pad. There we go. And then we're going to stamp that right on top of that vellum. All right. And then again, you're going to stamp 4 of these, okay? So once you've got that stamped, and it's going to stick, okay? It's going to stick to your paper. So to your stamp. So if you're not comfortable that way and you would rather, pin it down with the what are these things called? The weights? The magnets. That's what I'm trying to say. The magnets. Okay. Then what you can do is you can just use a bigger sheet of vellum and then pin it down with your magnets, and then you can trim it down to size once you emboss it, if that's the way you want to do it. This was just easiest for me. Okay, so it's on there, and it's not a big deal because all I'm going to do is just peel it off. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to set this off to the side. Okay, so now I don't think that you can see that. Maybe you can see the pattern on there a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do now is lay that down. And then we're going to sprinkle some embossing powder. Now, this is just an embossing powder. It's a white embossing powder that has some glitter added to it. So it's not a clear glitter. It's white, but it's got that glitter in it that makes it all shiny and pretty. Okay, so we're going to pour that on top. Okay, make sure that you get that nice and covered. And then you're going to pick that paper up again. Oop. Okay, and then we're going to shake off that excess. Okay, just like that. I'm going to set that off to the side for a second. And then I'm going to take this and add it right back into my jar. Okay, because you want to save all of this, you know. You don't want to throw that out. You can use it again. So we don't want to throw it out. All right. So I'm going to set that to the side. And then the next thing that we're going to do is heat set this. Okay, so I'm going to take my heat tool. And I like to just grab something that's going to hold my paper. And then we're just going to melt that embossing paper right, or that embossing powder right on top of that vellum. And that's what's going to give you that beautiful white glittery look. And you can see that. You know, I have been stamping and embossing, you know, everything about stamping for over 30 years. And I still love to watch embossing powder get melted. The first time I saw it, I was so amazed that it was such a beautiful thing, and you could get so, you know, such beautiful results with it. And I've never tired of seeing it. Okay, so there we go. And then now we've got that beautiful stamped vellum. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so real quick, before I go any further, I'm going to take my nifty little vacuum here and get the rest of this off, because if not, I'm going to have it everywhere. Okay, we'll put that up to the side. All right, so now once you've got your vellum all done, right, you've got 4 pieces that you have now stamped and embossed. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take them, as you can see what I've done here, and you're going to adhere them to the inside of your frames. Okay, so I've already done my 3, and I left this last one because the front of my frame, I don't know if you guys could see it really, really well. You might be able to see it on this, but on the front of my frames, I added the other product that I'm showing you guys today, which is the Rhinestone Genie, where Ann has developed the templates for this. And this, I'm using one of her templates, and this is what you guys have seen us show you this many times, but you can add bling to your projects in seconds. So, I mean, a lot of bling in seconds. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. I did the 3 sides on this one, but I left this last one just because I wanted to show you guys how to do it. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears and we're going to do the rhinestones. And those are going to be, let me get this other stuff out of the way here and grab my iron. There we go. And I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so what you need for this part, okay, is first you're going to need a tray. Okay, you're going to need a tray. And then the templates, this is one of the templates that I used in my project. And as you can see here, it's magnetic and it has just this little design on it. It's a corner design. And I just love to add this like to the corner of my cards, or in this case, the corners of my frame. I just, it just adds a little bit of, you know, oomph to your projects, which I really, really love. So these are magnetic. So when you put them down on your tray, they're going to stay, okay? So then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your rhinestones, like I have here, and I got a whole bunch of them, and you're going to take them and then pour them right on top. Okay, and then we're going to set that off to the side. Okay, And then you're going to take this nifty brush, and Ann has all of this stuff on her website, guys. So, you know, don't worry about it. You can order stuff through her website. So she's got some stuff on there, and she can tell you, you know, if you need anything else. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these nifty little brushes, and you're going to go around in a circular motion until you get the rhinestones all in the holes of your template. Okay, so once you have that, and you can see here that I've got one right there that is turned over. Every once in a while that'll happen, not a big deal. What I do when that happens is I just pull that out, and then I'll take another one and just plop that in. Okay, there you go. Easy, 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 easy. Okay, so then you're going to scooch all of this out of the way. All of your rhinestones are going to be out of the way here. And you can see, I don't know if you guys can see this, but my pan, I need to get a new one because I bent this one so bad. And now every time I try to use it, it pops up. One of these days it's going to pop up and there's going to be rhinestones all over everything. Okay, so once you've got all your rhinestones in your template here, you're just going to take your brush and just kind of spread them in one direction. Okay, so then the next thing, you're going to take some adhesive tape. This comes in sheets, and you cut it out to the size of the template that you need. All right, now you can see this one is not new. This one I have used a number of times. Now, I've talked to Ann about this before, and she says you can use this adhesive sheet up to 10, I think she said 10 to 15 times, as long as it's still sticky, you know. And then, of course, depending on the surface that you're using your Rhinestone Genie with, because if you're using it on fabric, then obviously it's not going to stick as well. Okay, so just a tip just to let you guys know. So you're going to peel that backing off, and I always hang on to my backing, and then we're going to take this and lay it down right on top. Okay, now this is small, so you know you don't have to worry about anything lifting. But if you are using a bigger template, you know, if you've got a bigger one that you're using, what you want to do when you come to this point is you want to take your adhesive paper, and you don't want to hesitate. You want to just commit to it and put it right down onto your template. Okay, so because if you don't, if you kind of hover over your template, then your rhinestones are going to start popping up and sticking to the tape, and you don't want that, at least not like that. Okay, you want it to stick to where you want it to be. Okay, so once you've got that, then you're going to take your fingers and just kind of press down on there just to make sure that that tape is really sticking. And then we're going to lift it, and we're going to gently pull this back. And as you pull back, you'll see that your rhinestones stick. Okay, all right. So for right now, I'm going to save my backing, and I'm just going to put it down here for just a minute while I move this out of my way. Okay. There we go. We're going to put that up there. Okay. So now you're ready to apply this to the project that you're working on. So for this, of course, we're going to put it on the front part of my frame. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to peel this back. And again, you want to save this backing, because when you're done with this, put it back on, and that's how you're going to store it so you can still continue to use it for other projects. Okay, so we're going to lay this down right where you want it. And I know it might be a little bit hard to see with the other patterns that's going on with this paper, but you just press it down just like that. Okay, and then you're going to take a hot, dry iron. No, you do not want steam. You want it nice and hot and dry. and you're going to set it right down on top, okay, for about 10 to 15 seconds. Let's see. And while you're doing this, you want to make sure that you take your iron up and down. Don't move your iron back and forth, because what you're doing with your iron is you're releasing the adhesive on the back of these stones. And if you move the iron around, you're going to move the stones, and you don't want that. You don't want your rhinestones moving. Okay, so I'm going to put it down there for just a little bit more. And that should be good. And then we're going to come back and we're going to peel this gently back. There we go. Make sure that everything has stuck. Okay, and again, save this because you can use it again. You see my little pile here? Okay, so you can use it again. All right, so I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to move my iron now so I don't burn my arm. Okay, now you've noticed that I did not put my vellum sheet in this last piece, and that's because I did not want my hot iron as I was putting my rhinestones down by my vellum, because then you're going to melt it. Okay, so your front piece, when you're applying the rhinestones, do not put your vellum on it until you're done. Okay, so once you have all four corners of that done, then we're going to flip this over, and then we're going to adhere this, and you want to make sure that you put it on the front side facing down. And then we're going to take a glue gun here, and what I like to do is I like to just start off at the top and get that first piece down. And then once I've got it down and I know it's not going anywhere, it's not going to move, then I'm ready to go ahead and adhere the rest of it down on top of the frame. Okay, so we're just going to run a little bit more glue just right around these edges here. And those of you guys, if you have not seen this new glue gun from Xyron, you really should check it out because it's pretty awesome. This is the first time that I'm showing it to you guys, but it's got this channel here, or I don't even know what to call this compartment here, where you can put multiple glue sticks in, and you don't have to replace them one at a time as you're using them. It's really a cool, very cool glue gun. Okay, so now that we have got that done, all right, now we're ready to put it together. Okay, so what you're going to do from here then is you're going to take your base. And the one thing that is so cool about these pieces of wood, they already have this little groove. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little groove right here that goes all the way around, that my frame, when I was designing this, fits perfect on. It fits perfect. I just love it. Okay, so what we're going to do now then, let me move these out of the way. Make sure that you got your right sides facing out, okay? And you want to make sure that your holes, oh, I forgot to tell you that part, sorry. What you're going to do once you add your vellum and all that, then what you're going to do is you're going to put in 6 holes on each side. Only on 2 sides though, okay? Don't do all 4. You're only going to do the 2. This is what's going to put all your frame together. So you're going to do 6 holes on each side here, okay? And they're about 3/4 of an inch apart. Now, if you only want to put 4 holes or you only want to put 3, that's totally up to you. This is just how I did it, okay? So, but it is totally up to you. This is just to hold, all of your frames together. Okay, so this is my front frame, so I'm going to put this one on last. But what I'm going to do here, okay, so you want to make sure that I'm going to do the side. So you want to make sure that your holes are on the sides. They're not up and down. You want them on the sides, okay? And then you want your vellum facing out. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to run your glue right down that little area there. And then you're going to adhere this right to your piece of wood, your base. Okay, now don't worry if it looks like it's going to be crooked or whatever. It's not going to matter once you get it all tied together. Okay, so you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, we're going to put the other one over here. And again, just make sure that when you're adding it, you just want to make sure that you have your papers positioned correctly, okay? Because if not, you're going to have to rip them off and start again. Okay, so I'm going to leave, well, I'm going to put my front here. So I'm going to put this last piece down here. Okay. Just like that. Okay, and then the last one, I always leave my front for the last. Okay, and that's just because I just want to make sure that everything is lined up really, really well before I put that last piece on. And then I'm just going to take my glue gun again and run that glue right down there one more time, and then add my front piece. There we go. Okay. Now, granted, when you do yours, you're going to take a little bit more time and make sure that everything is on there nice and pretty. Okay. All right. Let me put that to the side. But see, now you have your base. And now you're ready to just finish it off. So what you're going to do to finish it is I took a doll needle, one of these long ones, and I think they use these, well, I used to use them when I used to make a stuffed snowman. I used to love to make stuffed snowmen, and I use these to put their eyes and stuff on. So I think it's called a doll needle, but it's about a 6-inch or 5-inch needle, and it has a very large eye on it. Okay, so with that, we're going to take some really pretty silver ribbon that I have here, and then we're going to put it inside. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. So I'm going to cheat and do it this way. And then put that in there and then just try to, there we go. Okay. And then you're just going to start with your front piece right here. And all I did was I just went in the one side, okay, and then into the other side here and pull it through, okay, and you're just going to lace it all the way down. And then you're going to get that pretty decoration also on your lamp, because this silver ribbon thread or whatever it's called, it just adds a really, really pretty touch to the rest of it. So you're just going to go down all of those holes just like this, as I'm showing you here. And then we've got one left down at the bottom. So then what I'm going to do is pull that through. Okay. And then what I did was I took this again and I put it in this last hole on the inside. Now be careful when you're doing this that you don't punch your vellum, okay? Because you don't want to punch your vellum while you're doing that. So you're going to pull that tight, okay? And then you've got this other piece up here, And we're going to put that on the inside. Okay. And we're going to cut this off. And how I did with this piece is I took this one and put it back through my other top hole here. Okay. So we're going to take that and just kind of tuck that in there. All right. And then you just want to pull it snug. And then what I did was just flip it on its side here. And then I just tied the two ribbons together on the inside. As you can see here, just tie a knot. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you've got your knot tied. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors, come back in and just trim those extra pieces off. And you're going to do that on all four sides. Now, I'm not going to take the time to do that now because, you know, we'll be here forever. Okay, but you see that beautiful trim that that silver thread adds to the project? Okay, so now to finish it off, the rest of it, well, just like this part, is very simple. What you're going to do now is you're going to take 4 blocks, okay? These are let me make positive sure. I think they're 1.5 or 1 1/4, but let me make sure. Yes. 1 1/4. Okay, so 1 1/4 square wood blocks. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut your pattern paper 1 1/4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches long. And that is what's going to give you the amount that you need to wrap around it with a little bit left over on the end. And then you can either glue that on or you can trim it off. But then what you're going to do is you're going to do all 4, okay? And you don't need to do the tops of them because obviously you're going to glue it to the bottom of your base. So you really don't need those top pieces. So what we're going to do, I'm going to flip this over. And again, if I was doing this for, you know, for somebody to give it away or whatever, I would have definitely finished my bottoms. Okay, definitely would have finished the bottoms, but because this is a project for here, you know, I don't always finish things off. But if I'm going to give it away to somebody, then of course, definitely yes. Okay, so then you're just going to take your 4 blocks, add a little bit of glue, and then just put them in the corners here on your bottom base. All right, and we're going to do that. And I hope I have enough glue. I might have to add another glue gun. I mean, another glue stick. Okay. Hang on 1 second, guys. Let me grab another glue stick. So we can finish this project off. All right, so I'm going to plop another glue stick in there. And then that's what pushes down on... Let me show you guys. You plop that in there, and then that's what pushes down all the rest of them, and then helps you with your glue gun. Okay. All right. Well, I'm getting a little bit out. There we go. Okay. So we're going to put all 4 of these on, just like this. Okay, very simple, right? And again, if I was giving this to, you know, to someone as a gift, I would definitely finish the bottoms of my legs also, because I like to make sure that all of my areas are covered nice and pretty. Okay, so now you've got the box. Where's the front? Here it is. Okay, so now you've got your box almost done, or your table decoration, I should say. All right, so from here, we're just going to finish it off. So what I did to finish it was I took a couple of stamps that I had. These are from the Cat's Pajamas. Okay. These are the stamps from them. And what I did was I stamped my snowman here. Obviously white cardstock with my black Gina K ink pad. And then I watercolored it. And then I added a little bit of glitter on the front, a little bit of glitter pen. And then I did the center, or did the wording here on white cardstock. But with this, I used the darker blue ink, which is a blue denim. Okay, this one from Gina K. And I just stamped those out. And then what you're going to do to finish this off is you're just going to add a little bit of glue. Okay. We're just going to add a little bit of glue here. And we're just going to tuck this guy right here in the front. See that? Just like that. Just going to tuck him in there right like that. And then this piece, okay, before you add this piece, what you're going to do is I took some Snowflake Garland that I had, and I ran a piece across the top here. Okay, and I just glued it down. And then last but not least, then I took my little word image here, and then I stuck this one on the front, up in the center. Okay, just like that. So there you go. That's the centerpiece. And then, as I said, then you add, you know, a battery operated candle in here. You don't want to add a real candle, because you do have vellum and paper, and you don't want to burn your house down. Okay, I don't advise that. I don't want to get sued. So just make sure that you use a battery operated candle with this. Okay, let me show you once again with the finished one. Okay. And this is where you can see I added that little bit of snowflake garland on the top there. And then, of course, added my wording, and then my little snowman down there. But isn't that adorable? And really, really quick and easy to make. Now, I will tell you this. If you have a husband that's handy with, you know, wood tools, what you could do is you could put a hole in, have him drill a hole in your base, and then you can use an electrical light, just like this. See, I used to make a lot of lamps, and these were part of the lamps that I used to make. And what I did was I would drill a hole in the center there, and then put this in, and then you could put a light bulb in and do it that way. Okay, so that's another way that you can do it also. If you've got, you know, or if you're handy with the drill, you know, I mean, I put the holes in mine. So if you're handy, I say go for it. Lots of fun. All right. So let me switch cameras here. Once again. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Now see how fun that was? Wasn't that, you know, and it really didn't take that long to put together. Now, granted, I did, you know, do a lot of the stuff ahead of time, you know, so, I mean, it's going to take you a couple hours to put together, but it won't be that hard. So let me let Ann in here. There she is.
I love it.
Dorothy, thank you. Dorothy, where did you buy the, okay, Dorothy, the wood blocks, you can buy those at any craft store. They usually come in bags where you can get like 6 or 9 in a bag, or they even have them in the big bags where you could get a whole bunch of them, in a big bag. So Michael's, they don't cost that much. I think they're like maybe, I want to say $4 or $5 for a bag full. So they're not that much. So try your craft stores. And maybe even you might even be able to find them at Lowe's or, Home Depot, one of those type home improvement stores. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked.
Right.
Okay, so let me look real quick to see if anybody has any.
I think Laura said something about she didn't know that I had the corner piece in the rhinestones. It actually comes in this set, Laura. So it comes in the 1-inch square set, and it's right down here.
Yeah.
So that's the piece that Lisa uses like all the time. And
I love that
this
piece.
This one a lot. And this was one of the first sets I made. I made 2 to begin with. And it was to go with my stamps from Unity. So you could create that full quilted
beautiful
card. And I also did that purple pillow I showed that one time.
Yes.
With this set. So if you get the bundle is on my site. I put the link in there. You get your choice of which template you want of mine, and it comes with the alphabet template. It comes with 3 of the iron-on transfer sheets, a package of rhinestones, and a brush. So you only need the metal tray, which you can get at the dollar store.
Yep.
You just need an aluminum tray that it'll work with. So
yeah.
But there were quite a few comments in here. Lisa will go back and answer those. I couldn't even keep up at some points, which was awesome.
Yes. I love questions and comments. Yes. So yes, I will go over everything, you guys, and answer questions that you might have. But I just happened to see Dorothy's as I was letting you in, so I caught her.
There were more comments, not questions. Maybe.
Okay.
But, I loved the fact, like on the sides, when you put 6 holes and you said, or you could put 3 or you could put 4, but with 6, you had that pretty edge.
Yes.
If you only had 3, you'd have this little tiny edge.
Yeah.
So it closed it up perfectly.
That's why when I designed it, it was like, okay, I always like to give people options, when I found that wood bottom, because I had bought a few of those a while ago, and I had them put outside in one of my cabinets outside. Well, that cabinet got kind of covered with other household things, so I hadn't been in there for a while. And so Rich moved the stuff out of the way for me so I could get into my cabinets, and I found those, and I was like, oh, okay. Oh, and then the brain started going, and yeah. So, and they're perfect because they have those little ridges that are already cut in there. You don't have to mess with it. It's already done. And that's what gives them the stability to stay on the wood, because you can glue, if you have just a flat piece of wood that doesn't have the ridge, you could just glue it on to that, but with the ridge, it gives it a little shelf to sit on.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So it just kind of gives it that shelf to sit on, and then it just turns out so much prettier. And yeah, I do like to add more of the holes on the side because it does give it a beautiful finish.
It did. I mean, yeah, I love the project.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good job.
Woo! All right. All right.
He does this awesome, gorgeous project. I'm going to be back in 45 minutes. So join us, because we'll be back, and I am doing a project. My project is not as elaborate as that. I mean, I love your project. My project is paper piecing with die cuts. So I'm going to show you how when, you know, you have some of these really great dies and you only use them for what they're meant for, but I'm going to show you how to paper piece with them. So it'll be fun. Join us.
I love that. I love techniques.
Yeah,
I have
I'm a
no
technique
problem.
girl.
You are. I have no problem doing, the more fancy stuff because you're doing techniques. So you guys are getting the best of both worlds because I love techniques. Love them. Anytime I can find something different to do with something I already have,
Yep.
makes me very happy.
When you can take your products and make them more versatile, it's a win-win. I mean, because some products cost a bit of money, I mean, and dyes, I mean, you can get dyes for $3-4, but you can spend up to $30-40, depending upon the dyes you're buying. And when you can make them to be used in different ways, it's always nice.
Yeah, I loved it when you used them as stencils. I thought that was just amazing. I had never thought of that.
Violet, I'm so glad you got your sound fixed. Come back in 45 minutes. We'll be live again with another project. And Laura, okay, good. You'll be here, maybe.
Perfect.
That'd be good.
All right,
All right, you guys.
That is it for me. Like Ann said, she's going to be back in 40 minutes or so. So make sure that you join us back for that. I'm sorry this took so long.
But they're worth it.
I hope so.
When you do the bigger projects and it's nice to see how things are done.
Yeah. Well, you know me, I like details and I like, whatever. All right, you guys. So join us for that. And then of course, again, next week. So until then, make sure that you take some time to craft because it's good for your soul. It really is. All right, you guys have a great 45 minutes and we'll see you back here.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.